Welcome once again to the BookMind channel, where we do deep dive conversation on famous English books.
And today, wow, we are diving deep into a text that doesn't just talk about ambition. It really delivers a complete systematic strategic blueprint. For entrepreneurs who are really aiming high, we're talking about Ryan Daniel Moran's 12 Months to $1 Million.
That title, it definitely grabs your attention, doesn't it? It's, well, aggressively results-oriented.
It really is. Such a huge goal. Almost intimidating.
Uh-huh. But what's so compelling, I think, about Moran's work is that it pushes past just motivation. It gives you a genuine, structurally sound roadmap.
Exactly. A roadmap for hitting that seven-figure annual revenue stream.
Which is the dream for many.
Absolutely. And for you, our listener, if you're looking for that ultimate shortcut, maybe not a cheat code, but definitely a shortcut to organized knowledge, well, this text really delivers.
Yeah, it's not vague theory, not just, rah-rah motivational stuff.
Nope. We're actually dissecting a meticulously structured plan, step by step, for building a scaled seven-figure business, all within one calendar year.
That 12-month time frame is key.
It is. So our mission here in this deep dive is to really pull apart that underlying framework. How does he break it down? How is that growth actually executed systematically?
And we should probably stress the scope here, because it's incredibly specific, isn't it?
Very specific.
The whole blueprint, it's engineered for one thing.
Yeah.
The successful sale of physical products online.
Right. E-commerce, tangible goods.
Could be FBA, could be Shopify, maybe a mix, but definitely physical products.
This isn't really a strategy for, say, service providers or consultants or pure software startups, is it?
No.
Not at all.
And that focus, on tangible goods, it dictates everything that follows. The strategic steps needed for inventory management, procurement, scaling logistics, all that stuff.
That focus on physical products seems to be the engine driving the whole thing. We should probably spend some time unpacking why he chooses that model.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I think the real genius, maybe, is the chronology. How he breaks that huge, overwhelming $1 million target down
into those manageable chunks, the 4-month increments.
Exactly. 3 distinct stages. We're going to unpack those, starting with validation, proving the concept.
And ending, theoretically at least, with that $1 million annual run rate.
It's all about structure.
Yeah.
Relentless structure, repeatable processes, and just executing systematically.
Okay, let's dive into section 1 then. The foundational strategy, customer, brand, and systems.
Right. The foundation.
So Moran starts right there. The goal is, well, it's brutal. $1 million in annual revenue, 12 months flat. That demands insane efficiency.
Yeah, per efficiency, yeah.
So if speed and, margin are often seen as king in entrepreneurship, why the specific focus on physical products? Why not, say, high-margin digital goods? Or maybe highly personalized services?
Yeah, that's a really critical question. And it gets to the heart of building scalable wealth versus maybe just creating a high-paying job for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Explain that difference.
Well, think about it. Digital goods, yeah, they might have higher initial margins, and services can be super lucrative.
Sure.
But they often hit a bottleneck, right? Human labor, your time, or the time of people you hire.
Right. You can only do so much work in a day.
Exactly. The beauty of physical products, once you get the systems right, is their predictability, their stability.
Predictability how?
Well, when you scale a physical product line, what you're actually scaling are systems. Procurement systems, logistics systems, inventory financing.
Okay.
These are complex, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But they're external systems, things you can automate or you can outsource. You're building an asset.
An asset with tangible inventory, established logistics.
Right, and that makes the revenue flow highly predictable. Repeatable. Yeah. You can build a machine, essentially, that prints and ships the products.
Yeah.
And the entrepreneur's job becomes scaling the machine, not the human hours needed to serve a client.
That makes sense. Predictability is crucial if you're on that tight 12-month clock.
Absolutely. It allows for reliable financial forecasting, reinvestment, all the things you need to hit those aggressive targets.
So you're building a manufacturing and logistics operation, essentially, not just relying on your own time.
Precisely.
Okay, but this physical product focus, which demands these complex systems, it seems to pivot on something Moran really emphasizes early on, a kind of reversal of how people usually think about business.
You mean prioritizing the customer before the product?
Exactly. That's key principle 1.
Right.
Yes.
And what's fascinating is just how significant that strategic flip really is.
How so?
Think about how most people start. Aspiring entrepreneurs, they fall in love with an idea first, don't they?
Yeah, usually. A gadget, a cool design, some unique thing they thought of.
Right, and then they scramble to find buyers. They try to justify its existence in the market.
Okay.
Moran insists you do the opposite. First, identify the specific audience, the customer group, understand their precise, acute problem, and only then do you create the product specifically to solve that problem for that group.
It sounds, well, almost too simple when you put it like that.
Maybe. But the moment you put the customer and their pain point first, bam, you instantly sidestep the most common killer in e-commerce,
Which is?
falling into the commodity trap.
Ah, right. Competing only on price.
Exactly.
Right.
If you start with just a product idea, let's say, I want to sell stainless steel water bottles. What happens?
You're immediately up against hundreds of others selling basically the same thing.
Correct. You're competing solely on price,
Yeah.
maybe minor aesthetic differences. That's a commodity business.
Yeah.
And trying to scale that to $1 million in 12 months, brutally hard. Your margins just get squeezed constantly.
Okay, so let's make that concrete. If I decide I want to sell protein powder, I'm probably in a commodity fight.
Likely, yes. Very crowded market.
But if I first identify a specific audience, like vegan ultra-marathon runners,
Okay, specific group.
who need a very particular amino acid profile, maybe without causing digestive issues, which is common,
Right, a specific problem for that group.
and then I formulate a product just for them.
Now you've created immediate defensible value. See the difference?
Yeah, completely. That specialized solution, built for a known audience with a defined problem, it can command a premium price.
And it ensures much greater brand longevity.
Yeah.
You're solving a guaranteed problem for people you already understand, rather than just, throwing a generic product out there and hoping people need it.
It protects you from the competitors just racing to the bottom on price.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Which is essential for that 12-month goal. You need margin to reinvest.
Okay, so that focus on the customer naturally leads into the second key principle then, building the cohesive brand.
Absolutely. If the customer comes first, then the brand has to be centered around that specific customer group you just identified.
Makes sense.
Because if your brand is too broad, like wellness products for everyone, what happens to your marketing?
It gets diluted, unfocused, expensive.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Astronomically expensive, usually. But if you laser focus, say, sticking strictly to recovery solutions for endurance athletes, then every marketing dollar, every piece of content you create, every new product you launch, it all reinforces that single brand identity.
And builds loyalty within that niche.
Massive loyalty.
Huh.
It contrasts so sharply with those broad, unfocused marketing campaigns that just burn through cash and, crucially, time.
Time you absolutely don't have on a 12-month push.
Exactly. Efficiency again.
That efficiency thread runs through everything here. And it brings us to that critical system transition. This feels like the real linchpin.
It really is. Creating repeatable systems.
This is what separates, a successful e-commerce business owner from someone who's basically just a successful freelancer with products.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And this transition, Moran makes it clear, it's not optional if you want to scale to $1 million. It's non-negotiable.
The entrepreneur has to transition quickly from working in the business
Doing the daily grind.
Yeah.
Customer service, backing boxes, writing ad copy.
to working on the business. Strategy, growth, scaling.
Yes. Looking at the bigger picture.
Okay, let's get technical for a second. What are these minimum viable, repeatable systems we're talking about? What absolutely needs to be in place early on, say, in those first few months?
Moran's blueprint is pretty clear on this. Those initial systems, the ones you must establish in the first 4 months, need to cover at least 3 critical operational areas, even if they're, pretty basic at first.
Okay, what are they?
First, procurement and quality control, QC. You need a standardized process, a checklist maybe, for sourcing your product, ordering it, and making sure the quality is consistent.
Right. Can't sell junk.
Second, fulfillment and logistics, setting up reliable packing, reliable shipping, and importantly, defining a clear system for handling returns and exchanges.
The stuff nobody likes to think about but can kill you later?
Exactly. Those less glamorous operational bits cause huge friction down the line if you ignore them.
Okay, procurement QC, fulfillment logistics. What's the third?
Third is marketing automation, establishing the minimum necessary funnel. Maybe just a simple email sequence for abandoned carts or setting up basic retargeting ads. Something automated.
So these are the core gears. They need to be spinning on their own without the founder pushing them every single time.
Precisely. The blueprint basically demands that if you, the entrepreneur, are still manually packing boxes or personally replying to every single customer email in month 8, you've failed.
You've failed the scaling part of the assignment.
You have. Those initial operational systems have to be robust enough to handle more volume. And, crucially, they need to be documented.
So you can hand them off.
Exactly. Often to a virtual assistant or maybe a small contractor initially. The entrepreneur must step up into that CEO role, which means strategy, high-level growth planning, optimization, resource allocation.
Not the day-to-day tactical execution.
Right. If you don't manage to buy back your time by creating these documented, repeatable systems that $1 million in 12 months, it's just not going to happen. You literally run out of hours in the day.
Okay, that foundation is clear. Customer first, cohesive brand, systematize everything. Now let's get into the timeline itself.
Right. Section 2. The 3 distinct stages, the 4-month breakdown.
This is the core structure, isn't it? The mechanism that makes this, frankly, intimidating goal feel, well, maybe digestible.
Exactly. The 12 months aren't just one long, continuous slog. They're broken down very deliberately.
Into 3 distinct 4-month stages, each with its own focus.
Yes, and each stage builds on the last, increasing revenue goals, increasing strategic complexity, and demanding different things from the entrepreneur's time and focus.
It feels like a curriculum almost, with pass-fail gates.
That's a good analogy. You really can't move effectively to stage 2, the growth stage, until you've solidly validated your foundation and built those core systems in stage 1.
Because if those systems crumble when you try to add volume.
The whole plan just implodes, right?
Right.
So let's look at stage 1.
Okay, months 1 through 4, validation and proof of concept.
This is the make or break stage, the survival stage in many ways.
And the primary objective here is crystal clear, right? Focus on getting those initial sales, proving viability.
Yes. You're testing the core hypothesis. Does this product actually solve the customer's problem effectively? And, crucially, will they pay enough for it to support a scalable business?
It sounds like the critical metric here isn't necessarily maximizing revenue right out of the gate.
That's exactly right. The key focus for stage 1 isn't hitting some huge revenue number. It's actually building trust.
Trust.
Yes. And the key component, the main way you build that early credibility, especially online, is by collecting quality reviews.
Okay, I want to push back on that a little because the clock is ticking, right? $1 million in 12 months. Shouldn't generating revenue, getting cash flow trump everything else initially? Why potentially sacrifice speed for getting reviews?
It seems counterintuitive, maybe, but that's where the strategic brilliance of this blueprint lies, I think. Revenue in stage 1 is actually a lagging indicator. Trust is the necessary prerequisite for achieving profitable scale later in stages 2 and 3. Think about it. You're a brand new online seller. Nobody knows you, especially if you're in a crowded niche.
Right. Skepticism is high.
Exactly. Trust is your most valuable and scarcest asset initially. If you try to just aggressively scale your marketing spend on a product that has 0 social proof, 0 reviews, what happens?
Your advertising costs will be sky high. People won't click or won't convert.
Precisely. Your customer acquisition cost, your CAC, will be astronomical. You'll burn through your budget before you even know if the product works for the customer. You sink before you swim.
Okay, I see. So the reviews act as that essential third-party validation, proof that the brand is legitimate, the product actually does what it says.
Yes, they are the currency of trust. And that trust validates the initial product-customer fit you hypothesized.
And without that trust, any money you plan to spend on paid traffic in stage 2 is basically just wasted, pouring water into a leaky bucket.
Pretty much. You're throwing it at cold leads who have absolutely no reason to believe your claims. Reviews warm them up.
So the focus in stage 1 is deliberately narrow.
Very narrow. One product. One core audience, the one you identified earlier.
And the entrepreneur's main job is getting those minimum viable systems running.
Exactly. Figuring out procurement. How do I reliably get this product made or sourced at a decent cost? Getting the QC right.
And that initial marketing piece.
Yes. Testing which channel works best. Is it social media ads? Paid search? Email marketing? Which one most predictably reaches this specific customer group at a reasonable cost?
So the target for stage 1 isn't necessarily like $300,000 in revenue right away.
Yeah.
It's more about establishing a reliable, repeatable foundation.
Yeah, maybe something that can generate, say, $10,000 to $20,000 in monthly sales. Crucially, at a positive margin.
It's proving the engine actually runs, and runs profitably, even if small scale.
And critically, documenting the entire process as you go. How you sourced it, how you marketed it, how you fulfilled it.
Because if you stumble out of month 4 without those reliable, documented systems,
And without that core collection of, say, 5-star reviews for your first product,
then you basically have to hit reset.
you absolutely must restart the clock on stage 1. because the entire 12-month plan hinges on stage 2 having a high-functioning, proven foundation to build upon. It collapses otherwise.
Okay. Stage 1, validation, trust via reviews, systems documented. Let's say you nail that. Now what?
Now we enter stage 2, growth via expansion,
Yeah.
months 5 through 8.
Right. So we have that validated foundation, the proof of concept.
Yes, and stage 2 is all about aggressive acceleration. The primary objective is to accelerate growth rapidly, using the systems and the social proof you built in those first 4 months.
Okay, acceleration. How? What's the mechanism for growth here? Moran is specific about this too, isn't he?
He is, and it's critical. Growth is achieved primarily through multiple product launches.
More products. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's a catch, a constraint.
A very severe constraint. Absolutely correct. These new products, they must rigorously serve the same specific customer group that you validated back in stage 1.
So this isn't permission to just like chase shiny objects or jump into a totally new market.
Definitely not. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
If you started by selling that high-performance vegan protein powder to ultramarathon runners, then in stage 2, you launch maybe specialized electrolyte mixes for them.
Yeah.
Or perhaps compression sleeves designed for their needs. You do not suddenly launch, gardening tools or cat toys.
Got it. It's all about digging deeper into that existing niche, maximizing the value you offer that specific audience.
Exactly. You're maximizing the lifetime value, the LTV, of that core audience you worked so hard to acquire and build trust with in stage 1.
And it makes sense financially too, right? It's always cheaper to sell a second, third, or fourth product to an existing happy customer
Than it is to acquire a brand new customer from scratch for a brand new product line.
Yeah.
Mathematically and strategically, it's far more efficient.
So this maintains that brand cohesion we talked about earlier.
Yes, while massively increasing the revenue streams coming from that already loyal, validated customer base.
And this shift from focusing on just one product to monetizing multiple products within the same niche, that's what drives the big jump in revenue needed to stay on track for the 12-month goal.
That's the engine of stage 2 growth. Exponential growth comes from selling more things to the same happy people.
Okay, so strategically, the focus in stage 2 must shift then. It's not just about getting the first product right anymore.
No, the focus shifts to solidifying those internal systems, making them even more robust, so that these new product launches become predictable, almost routine, less resource-intensive each time.
Right. If it took me, say, 90 days of intense effort to launch product A,
You should be aiming to launch product B and product C in maybe 60 days each, or even faster.
because the underlying systems, the sourcing process, the QC checklist, the marketing funnels, the fulfillment, they're already built and documented from stage 1.
Precisely. You're just running new products through an existing optimized machine.
And this is where the entrepreneur has to step back even further from the day-to-day stuff.
Absolutely. They need to transition further out of the trenches. They should be managing the flow of new products, overseeing inventory expansion, maybe negotiating with suppliers.
But not doing the groundwork themselves.
Ideally, no. They should be hiring or delegating tasks. Things like creating the content for the new product page, setting up the initial ad campaigns for it, tracking its specific inventory levels.
So if a new product launch still requires the CEO, the founder, to spend like 20 hours personally setting up supplier communication details.
Then the system has failed. The goal is predictable, repeatable, ideally automated scaling of the product line.
And to make these new product launches happen, the focus inevitably shifts towards sourcing and managing more inventory, right? That must become a bigger challenge.
Huge challenge. Inventory risk management becomes paramount in stage 2. Moran acknowledges this. You have to start taking calculated risks.
Risks on ordering larger quantities, inventory financing.
Yes, to meet the future demand you're forecasting, which means you need better forecasting models based on the real sales data and customer behavior you gathered in stage 1.
So the data from stage 1 becomes crucial for making bigger bets in stage 2.
Absolutely. Stage 2 is often when the business needs its first serious line of credit, or maybe looks for external financing, because inventory costs for physical products, they're usually the single largest variable expense.
And those robust systems and validated data from stage 1 give you the confidence and the justification for lenders or investors to place those larger inventory orders without taking catastrophic risks.
Exactly. It's calculated expansion fueled by data and systems.
Okay. Validation, then systematic expansion. Months 1 through 8 are done. We're heading into the final stretch.
Right, stage 3. Scaling to 7 figures, months 9 through 12.
This is it, the final push. The ultimate objective, scaling the entire operation to reach and hopefully sustain that $1 million annual revenue run rate.
And this final push, it relies entirely, completely, on the strong infrastructure and the stable product lines you built and refined over the preceding 8 months.
It sounds like stage 3 isn't really about being wildly creative anymore.
Not primarily, no. It's crucial to understand that. Stage 3 is less about dreaming up brand new product idea that heavy lifting should largely be done. It's far more about operational and financial optimization.
You should already have, what, several reliable products selling consistently?
Yes, generating predictable income streams flowing through those systems you build.
Okay, so let's move beyond just saying scaling the operation. What does that technically entail in this final, crucial stage? What are the levers being pulled?
Well, it really comes down to leveraging and refining those systems from stages 1 and 2, especially in two key areas: fulfillment and marketing optimization.
Okay, fulfillment first. What changes there?
On the fulfillment side, this is often the stage where a business moves away from maybe self-fulfillment or even using a basic local warehouse.
And integrates with.
A true 3PL, a third-party logistics provider, someone who specializes in storing, packing, and shipping products at scale.
Outsourcing the whole warehouse operation.
Exactly. This shift, when done right, can drastically lower your per-unit cost of handling orders. It speeds up delivery times significantly. And, maybe most importantly, it frees up massive amounts of the entrepreneur's time and mental energy.
Takes a huge operational headache off the table.
A massive one, so you can focus elsewhere. Which brings us to the other key area: marketing optimization.
Right. What does that look like in stage 3?
The entrepreneur's focus shifts entirely to more advanced metrics. They aren't just tracking initial sales anymore. They're looking at sophisticated financial levers.
Like what?
Like ruthlessly maximizing LTV, that lifetime value of the customer you acquired back in stage 1 or 2, and simultaneously minimizing CAC, the customer acquisition cost.
So really fine-tuning the ad spend, the marketing channels.
Precisely. You should know, with data, exactly what percentage of a customer's first order value you can afford to spend to acquire them.
Knowing that they have a high probability of coming back to purchase product B, product C, and maybe product D later on.
Exactly. It becomes a much more mathematical, mechanical refinement process. You're basically tuning a well-oiled machine for maximum output, maximum efficiency. And that efficiency is measured in marginal return on investment, ROI.
And all of this culminates in that final transition, the entrepreneur's role. Moran's pretty clear about where they need to end up, right?
Absolutely. By stage 3, the individual is no longer an operator. They're not even really a product manager anymore. They are purely a high-level strategist, the CEO.
Fully focused on the business, not in it.
100%. Their job now involves things like auditing the existing processes to find those small, maybe 5% efficiency gains that add up significantly at scale.
Managing key people.
Yes, which often involves outsourcing even more high-level tasks now. Maybe bringing in fractional CFO services for financial forecasting, or hiring specialized advertising agencies to manage larger budgets.
So they're looking at dashboards, reading reports.
Spotting bottlenecks in the supply chain, or identifying leaks in the marketing funnels, and then adjusting the strategic levers based purely on data, not on gut feeling anymore.
So that scaling target, the $1 million run rate, it isn't achieved by the founder just working harder and harder.
No, absolutely not. It's achieved because the systems are working harder and more efficiently for you. The CEO's job is just to ensure the entire machine is running smoothly, optimally, and that the cash flow, which is significant at this volume, is managed correctly for smart reinvestment and growth.
You've successfully engineered yourself out of the day-to-day execution loop.
That's the ultimate goal of the systematization process.
Wow. Okay. That's a powerful framework. Validation, expansion, scaling, all built on customer, brand, and systems. Let's distill this down. Section 3, key takeaways and application for the learner.
Right. Boiling it down.
So we've gone through the timeline, the structure, the technical shifts required at each stage. If we pull out the absolute core success drivers of this, well, demanding blueprint, what are the principles that maybe apply universally, even if someone listening isn't planning to sell physical products specifically?
I think we can really summarize them into 3 core strategic pillars. These underpin every single step of Moran's approach.
Okay, pillar number 1.
First, definitely customer centricity over product centricity.
Always.
The fundamental question isn't what can I sell, it's who am I serving and what is their acute specific pain point.
The entire business has to hinge on solving a real existing problem for a very clearly defined group of people.
Pillar number 1, foundational.
Okay, pillar 2.
Second, brand cohesion and LTV maximization. This flows directly from the first. Why does your product or your series of products matter specifically to them?
To that defined group.
Yes. Every single product you launch must reinforce the brand promise you made to that specific group. And you leverage the fact that it's always cheaper, always more profitable to sell more to your existing happy customer base.
That's a financial engine driving stage 2, the expansion phase.
Absolutely. Build loyalty, then serve that loyalty deeply.
And the third pillar. This feels like the operational key.
It is. Systematization as leverage. The constant question needs to be, how do I make every important process in this business repeatable, documented, and ultimately delegable?
This is the mechanical requirement, the thing that actually allows the entrepreneur to step back, to get out of the weeds and actually scale the business rather than just building themselves a high-paying but ultimately unsustainable job.
Exactly. Systems are the only way to truly multiply your effort and time.
Customer, brand, systems.
Oh.
Okay. Now let's connect this directly back to you, the listener, the learner. What's the real value proposition of internalizing this kind of structured blueprint?
Well, I think the value is immense because it directly combats something so many aspiring entrepreneurs suffer from: analysis paralysis.
Right. And just that feeling of being overwhelmed by information.
Exactly. Information overload is crippling, especially today. In the digital age, business advice is everywhere, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. 1 million blog posts, YouTube videos, gurus.
1,000 conflicting tips on Facebook ads, another 1,000 on inventory management, different advice on business taxes. It's scattered.
And you end up spending all your energy just chasing these different disconnected pieces of advice without any kind of coherent overall strategy or sequence.
Right. This blueprint, Moran structure, it imposes chronology, it imposes discipline, it gives you a path.
It's like the difference between knowing all the individual parts of a car engine
Versus having a clear, step-by-step instruction manual telling you exactly how to assemble that engine in what order within a specific time frame, like 12 months.
Yeah. With this, you know exactly what systems need to be mastered by the end of month 3. You know the kind of revenue threshold you need to be hitting by the end of month 8. It clarifies the immediate priorities.
And I think the structure itself, breaking down that huge, scary $1 million goal into those defined 4-month blocks. Validation, growth, scaling that structure is the secret weapon here.
How so?
It takes this task that seems completely overwhelming, building a 7-figure business from scratch, and it makes it modular, manageable. It removes that huge psychological barrier of just staring up at a massive multi-year mountain you have to climb.
It breaks it down into achievable hills first.
Exactly. And it forces a ruthless focus on the task immediately at hand. If you're in months 1 to 4, your job isn't to worry about negotiating complex 3PL contracts.
Your job is to get those first 10 perfect reviews, validate the product.
Right. And if you're in months 9 to 12, you're not agonizing over your initial product formula anymore.
You're focused on optimizing your cost of goods sold by 2% or improving your inventory forecasting model.
Precisely. Laser focus on the requirements of the current stage. That's how the momentum builds.
Okay, powerful stuff. Let's wrap up with our outro.
Sound good?
This whole approach, the structured thinking, it really forces you to apply that kind of clarity to your own ambitions, doesn't it?
It really does.
So think about your own journey for a moment, or maybe the business you're dreaming of building. Which of those 3 stages Moran outlines validation, growth, or scaling? Which one currently feels the most abstract to you? The most undefined or, well, nebulous?
Is it figuring out how to prove the initial concept really works? Or is it the complexity of building out the product line and the logistics for growth? Or maybe it's that final push to optimize and scale.
The insight here, I think, is pretty profound. Complexity in business, maybe complexity in anything, it isn't really conquered by just brute force or working longer hours.
Oh, no, it's conquered by meticulous chronology, by the rigid disciplined application of structure.
Structure, when it's properly designed and executed, becomes the ultimate leverage.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive conversation today.
We really hope you gain some valuable insights into building a systematic, scalable business using this framework. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe our channel.